When big things reshape our Earth, we notice. But there is a greater force so small our eyes can't see it. For 3.5 billion years, microbes have colonized every corner of the Earth they could find. Thanks to Jillian Banfield, we now understand the power of those microbes and how they shape life itself.
If you could imagine a cubic centimetre of soil, about the size of the tip of your finger, I guess, that cubic centimetre of soil contains about 1 billion microorganisms. Microorganisms are everywhere, and they carry out all the really essential transformations that drive Earth's biogeochemical cycles.
Banfield is a geomicrobiologist who developed cutting-edge tools to figure out how microbes make and remake mineral formations. She pioneered the field of metagenomics. Her work is even creating solutions to crucial environmental problems.
I grew up in a country area in northern New South Wales, and I think the exposure to the natural surroundings really did shape my interest in the natural world and in the earth sciences.
She studied geology at Australian National University. After that,
I worked for a mining company, so I was actually an exploration geologist up in Victoria in the goldfields. I met my husband in the goldfields.
Her husband, Perry Smith, knew from the start that she was going places.
Nobody has the productivity that Jill has, just the ability to get in there and work.
Upon completing her master's degree in geology in 1985, the couple headed to Johns Hopkins for her PhD.
We packed everything we owned and baby under the arm and got on the plane and went to the United States, and neither of us had been to the United States before, and as far as we knew, we were going to Baltimore in Maryland.
As a graduate student in Maryland, she made major discoveries about how rocks weather. Graduating in 1990, she joined the faculty at University of Wisconsin-Madison. She was studying nanocrystals when she noticed something interesting.
Both chemical weathering and biological processes produce very tiny particles. These crystals are on the order of 1/1000th of a meter in diameter.
After working on abiotic crystal growth, she started to wonder if microbes were the ones creating nanocrystals in nature, at least sometimes. Some scuba divers who explored an abandoned Wisconsin mine were able to help her make a direct connection.
They'd reported finding some really extraordinary biological structures, including really large rafts of fluffy red material that turned out to be mats of bacteria and polymers and minerals.
She determined that these bacteria could create solid nanoparticles from a toxic brew of heavy metal and sulfuric acid salts dissolved from pyrite. This research is leading to new ways to treat mine-related sludge, called acid mine drainage, and tie groundwater uranium into solid forms that are no longer harmful to humans.
One of the things that defines our work is that we try to bring together all of the different tools and approaches, including the methods of biology and the methods of geology, mineralogy, and geochemistry. And so our objective is to really understand it from the molecular scale up to the meters or even hundreds of meters scale.
In 2001, she became a professor at the University of California, Berkeley. She's worked with hundreds of researchers, cross-pollinating disciplines in original ways. For example, many microbes cannot be grown in the lab, so she decided to extract their DNA from field samples and study their genomes instead.
When you get the genome, you get the recipe for the organism.
The challenge is sorting out which genome belongs to which microbe.
It's sort of like taking a bunch of jigsaw puzzles, each one representing the genome of an organism in fragments, and mixing the jigsaw puzzles all together and then trying to put the pieces back together.
This powerful approach to analyzing the genomes of whole communities, called metagenomics, is opening new worlds of study, from mammals to Mars. And what roles will they play for the entire planet?
We want to understand how microbial communities work so that we better understand the world around us and better stewards of the planet.
The 2011 Benjamin Franklin Medal in Earth and Environmental Science was awarded to Jillian Banfield for discovering the underlying principles of mineral formation and alteration by microbes, which are critical to understanding the form, composition, and distribution of minerals in the presence of living organisms.